continues on so many different levels. This nonsense in New York, we're going to go through all that. Got big questions for you on that. And also the Supreme Court on Trump's immunity claim in the January 6th lawfare trial that's upcoming in D.C. I tell you, they're never going to leave Trump alone. Trump is going to be dealing with this for the rest of his life. And that's just the reality of it. All right, we are going to be on the air in 20 seconds, so let's go. Stand by. And that's just the reality. It is showtime. 8.
Tomorrow, when you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com. On the air since 1977. It's the Steve Kane Show.
All right, welcome to the program, everyone. It is Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. All right, we got a lot to cover today. This judge, Meran, in New York is the most openly corrupt judge, I think, in the history of the United States. That's saying a lot. I'm not saying there have not been corrupt judges. There's been corrupt judges that have taken bribes and all kinds of things. But you've never seen one do it in front of the world, openly, with their corruption, right? Laura Loomer broke something massive. I wasn't going to play this now, but let me pull this up. I might get Loomer on one day coming up to talk about these things. But Laura Loomer dropped something huge. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll get to the phones in a bit. I'm not sure I have the audio queued up here, but she dropped something huge yesterday on the judge in this New York case, Judge Meran. And it's something I had never heard before, and I went online and tried to get some background on what she broke, and I couldn't find it. It's been totally disappeared. Let me just play this. Laura Loomer, who had a bullhorn in front of the courthouse yesterday, she was up there with Mayor Giuliani's son, who, I don't know, is he an attorney? He probably is. Maybe he should be the attorney general for Trump, right? So let me play this. This is Loomer yesterday. She dropped something huge about this judge. Listen.
Donald Trump did nothing wrong. 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 And we're going to be here every single day talking to all of you fake news media freaks and letting you know that Donald Trump did nothing wrong until you start to report the truth. Judge Merchan's wife literally works for Letitia James.
Okay, did you hear that? The judge's wife works for Letitia James, she said. Now, I should have, I didn't call Loomer. I might text her during the show today. And the reason I didn't is I thought, wow, that's huge. I had not heard that before. And I just thought I could go online and find that information. It's like the woman doesn't exist. If anybody has any details on that, DM it to me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. But maybe I'll reach out to Loomer this morning, although she's been very busy because after she was there, she went and took on Hamas, who was rallying for the destruction of Israel in New York yesterday. So she's pretty busy. But I'll reach out to her because this is crazy. So now we've got from Laura Loomer that this judge in New York, his wife works for Letitia James. His daughter took $10 million with this political consultant job from the Biden-Harris, Adam Schiff campaigns, and nothing's in the news about this. And, the way this judge is behaving looks corrupt. I mean, these allegations, if they weren't true, he would recuse himself just because of the appearance of things. And I know television is filled with lawyers doing legal analysis of what's going on in the court. There's no legal analysis to do here because what's going on in this court is illegal. These are outlaws. You've got an outlaw judge, an outlaw district attorney, an outlaw media. There's no analysis that you can do that's legal analysis that's relevant here because this whole thing is illegal. Now, they've taken this white-collar misdemeanor and they've called it a criminal felony. I don't get any of that. So, under New York law, President Trump is required to be in court every minute of every day, which is insane. He's running for president of the United States. So, the judge has told President Trump that he cannot go to Barron's high school graduation, which is here in Florida. And let me tell you, that is a fancy pants school. It's not Strahan High School where I went. Okay, I mean, Donald Trump probably spent more money on Barron's high school education than you've spent on your house. Okay, if you have a nice house, I think that's fair to say. But a high school graduation is a big deal. It really is for your child and for you as a parent. And this is President Trump's last child. He's the youngest. This is his last high school graduation for a child. Grandchildren, of course, but for one of his children. And the judge says that he cannot go to Barron's high school graduation here in Florida. He's got to be in court in this lawfare fake charge criminal case. And when I say criminal case, I mean the judge and Bragg are the criminals here. It's in reverse. The trial's in reverse. They should be choosing jury members for the judge and Bragg's trials, not Trump's. But here's my question to you. And a lot of people are saying that he should do this, including Jack Posobiec and Piers Morgan. And Piers Morgan, he was a bit of a jerk. Piers Morgan was the first celebrity apprentice hand-chosen by President Trump. He was on the season with Omarosa. She was on the regular apprentice and then came back for celebrity apprentice. But he was the first celebrity apprentice, Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan and Jack Posobiec say that President Trump should defy the judge's order and go to Barron's graduation here in Florida. Now, the judge has said that he will issue a bench warrant, arrest Trump, and that means go to jail. So I want to ask you, and I'm serious as a heart attack about this, what should President Trump do? Should he disobey this corrupt judge and go to Barron's graduation here in Florida? Donald Trump's never broken the law in his life, so this would be a first. Or should he sit there as a prisoner? He's a prisoner right now, literally, in this courtroom. While he's running for president of the United States. He is the leader of the political opposition to the sitting leader, this senile, corrupt old coot, Joe Biden, and he is being held prisoner in a New York courtroom. He is right now, as we speak, officially a prisoner. If you're told that you've got to be in a courtroom during business hours every day of the week through this show trial, this corrupt trial, if you don't, you will go to jail, you will be arrested. That literally makes him a prisoner. That courtroom is in effect a jail cell. So I know CNN and MSNBC, they're all into this. They're treating this like the OJ trial. They've got special graphics, they've got new music, they've got these panels of jerks sitting around talking about it all day. They're acting like this is a big deal. First time a president's been on trial. And I'll take it, in a criminal case, no doubt about that. But this is the first time a president of the United States has been held prisoner. So this idea of whether or not if the judge issues an order, will the Secret Service let him be taken to a jail cell? The courtroom is a jail cell. Right? So my question to you is, should President Trump obey or disobey this corrupt judge and go to his son's high school graduation here in Florida? There's a lot to talk about with this. We'll cover all of that, and we will take your calls. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the phones after the break. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're located. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now.
What do you guys think? Yes or no?
Is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. I just want to say thank you for the
I mean, there's no doubt he's in a jail cell.
I took 3 hours to go down there, took my 90-year-old mom. My mom walked straight
The courtroom is a jail cell.
and I just want to say thank
If you're not in the courtroom and you go to jail, you're in a jail cell.
So you heard me in Orlando talking about Dr. Appleton and drove to South Florida with your mother to see him.
Mm-hmm.
my mom awesome now. Awesome. No more arthritis, no pills, none of that. She's going back to New York. She sits on the train for 24 hours. And I'm telling you, no pain. She gets off that train, and my disposition walks like a young woman.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Call Dr.
I think it's a jail cell. Now, listen, guys, if you'd like to support my content and everything I do, go to mypillow.com and buy something with the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You know, there's huge deals going on right now. The MyPillow mattress topper, which is amazing. I have one on all the beds in my family. You can get it for 50% off with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. It will change the way you sleep. But you can use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, for all the specials at mypillow.com, not just the ones I talk about. And there are a ton of specials. And, of course, when you use my promo code Kane, you're supporting everything I do, the radio show, my podcast, my YouTube channel, and it's greatly appreciated. Plus, you're supporting Mike Lindell. So promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, at mypillow.com. And I do appreciate that help that you throw my way by going to mypillow.com, using my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. The courtroom itself is a jail cell. If he's not in that room all day, every day, that the court's in session, they'll put him in a jail cell with bars. They'll arrest him. That makes him a prisoner. He is a prisoner. Mm-hmm. He is without question a prisoner. All right, here we go.
Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 99.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies FM.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. Just let me recap what I have on the table. The judge this corrupt judge in this fake courtroom has said that President Trump cannot come to Barron's high school graduation here in Florida, or he'll issue a bench warrant, arrest him, have him arrested. Should President Trump defy the judge, break the law for the first time in his life, defy the judge, and go to Barron's graduation? The other thing, yes or no, I want to hear your thoughts on that. Also, is the courtroom not a jail cell? If he's not there, he gets locked up by this corrupt judge. We have a president who is officially a prisoner during court hours. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Wesley. I'm calling from Oklahoma.
Hey, Leslie, what's up?
So, basically, Brian, I just wanted to say that my thoughts, being a mom of a 16-year-old, I honestly think that he should attend Barron's.
Okay, so let's be clear. So you believe that President Trump, for the first time in his life, should break the law, defy this corrupt judge, and go to Barron's graduation in Florida?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't believe what that judge is doing is constitutional. They are using tactics to get around the system just to trap Trump. That's what the...
Well, they're misusing their offices. They're corrupt public officials. So the judge says that he'll issue a bench warrant. That means Trump would be arrested.
I understand that.
Okay. So that's one for... maybe I should keep track of this and write down, maybe we'll do a poll throughout the day. So you're first, Trump should defy the judge, break the law for the first time in his life, and go to Barron's graduation. All right, Oklahoma. I appreciate the call.
Have a good day, Brian.
You too. Take care. Take care. Well, there you go. That's one. Let's see. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike.
I think he should go. The jail, the corridor, as you've said before, is a jail cell anyway. They want him, they would prefer to put him in, Rikers or Sing Sing. But that's not going to...
Sing Sing, does that still exist, or is that... I thought that was just like in the James Cagney movie. I don't know. Does that still exist?
I think it does, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Prefer something like Rikers Island, But if this is taking place in New York City, I would think they put him in the NYPD.
We don't know. We don't... I don't know. I watched some of these... cops, whatever, bailiffs, whatever they are that work in that courthouse, and they don't seem to like Trump at all. In fact, I saw one of them, not yesterday, but the first time he went in there for this case, where the bailiff let the doors shut on Trump's face. I talked about that at the time, so I wouldn't be so sure. We don't know where he would be held. So we've got 2 votes that Trump should break the law for the first time in his life, defy the judge's order, and go to Barron's graduation here in Florida. That's something. I wonder if DeSantis would back Trump with that. Like, if there was some type of extradition request to come down here and arrest him at the graduation, would DeSantis intervene?
I would think not, because he hates Trump now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But here's what else I would do if I were Trump. I would not only defy him on this, but I would defy him on going to the Supreme Court. He was supposed to...
This Supreme Court case is huge. This is this is the president's motion as to whether or not he has presidential immunity. And this other lawfare kangaroo case in D.C., the J6 case. Yeah, this is big, and the judge will not allow him to go to that today.
But I think not only should you defy this judge on Barron, but you should defy him on this other case as well.
Exactly. All right, Mike in Louisiana, some very good points. All right, take care. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Rich.
Oh, hey, Richie.
Listen, first of all, you said, should President Trump, for the first time in his life, break the law against a corrupt judge? Your words. The judge is corrupt. The whole system, the whole trial is corrupt. It's a kangaroo court of the top line kangaroo court. And I would sacrifice a couple of days behind bars, politically and everything else.
Well, I don't know. You say a couple days. What is the, what? And if no, I don't know. Listen, half of Florida is retired from New York, and we've got a state filled with retired New York attorneys, cops, and all kinds of people down here. What is the maximum penalty a judge in a criminal case in the state of New York can put on a defendant who defies their order, doesn't show up in a criminal trial, and crosses state lines to another state? What is the maximum penalty?
I don't know, but if you're talking criminal trial, they've taken a misdemeanor and that ran its course, and they changed laws.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you. This is a white collar misdemeanor charge. That yes, I agree. But the charge that the judge, this corrupt judge, and this new thing that Loomer dropped, that the wife works for Letitia James. I mean, this guy. I mean, there's never been a judge in this country so openly corrupt as this ever in our history.
Personally, I would, and I'm telling you, for me, and he's showing he's supposed to be strength. We're not looking for a squeaky clean Trump.
Well, I am with you guys. Listen, I am with you guys. I'm not going to withhold my opinion on this till the end of this, but I believe Trump should go to Barron's graduation and defy the judge and dare the judge to arrest him.
Because his poll numbers will shoot out of the total roof. It's a circus now. Let it be a complete circus. I would go to my son and say, go to hell, basically. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Exactly.
They're all in the pocket. And you know it's a sad day for you and me and the country.
Yeah, it is.
First time they pull this crap. This is the slowest. You remember, Michelle, when they go low, we go high?
Yeah.
Lowest of lows, these people.
Mm-hmm.
They are bottom dwellers, man. They're like cockroaches. I'm sorry. And the people that are that on that jury, look what they're. Look how many people they turned away yesterday. They can't.
Over 50. They turned away over 50 yesterday. And, listen, being on this jury, you cannot impanel a fair jury for any president, okay? I don't care who they are because, they're presidents. People hate them, people love them, no matter who they are. But we're in New York City. I saw one of these jurors works at a bookstore. Boy, what kind of liberal jerk would that be? A person who works at a New York City bookstore? Liberal, intellectual, listens to NPR all day probably.
I heard the jury's tainted already. They have Democrats within that are going to be on that jury.
Being on this, absolutely. People are, listen, these are Democrats, okay? They're corrupt. There are people, it's like that movie with John Cusack, Runaway Jury. They have people that have been professionally trained on how to get picked for a jury that are trying to get on that thing, I promise you. This is or deep state operatives.
So he's going to get. Listen to me. He's going to get convicted as far as I'm.
Oh yeah, he's guilty. If they get a jury impaneled, he will be found guilty. His best case is hung jury, but they will find him guilty probably. Yes.
Exactly why he should defy this judge and go to his son's graduation. It's only a once-in-a-lifetime thing. The people of this country will turn on them like dogs because nobody would pull this country. They would turn on New York. They'd turn on Brad. They'd turn on this.
Oh yeah.
This would be the smartest political move he can make. The judge opened his mouth. I hope President Trump just does what he should do, go to his son's grave.
I agree. All right, take care, Richie. If you're on hold, stand by. And I am in favor of that, too. I believe President Trump should defy this corrupt judge and go to Barron's graduation. And for the first time in his life, break the law, because it would be. I know they're corrupt, but they still have the power and the authority, okay? If you're on hold, stand by. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show. That's right, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Tommy Primus. Is that Primes or Primus? Tommy, welcome as a member to the channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Michael Todd, a member for 21 months. Awesome. Go Trump. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll go back to the phones after the break. I did a live stream on the way in, and Saturday is my birthday, And this birthday and last year's birthday are the first times in my life where my mood is a little like, ugh, during my birthdays. I know some of you are older than me, a lot of you younger than me, some of you maybe my age, but I'm going to be 53 on Saturday, April 20th. And, of course, April 20th is, of course, the International Marijuana Day. It's also the birthday of Adolf Hitler, April 20th. And it's my birthday. Well, you know what gets me depressed about my birthday is not my age. It's the age of other people that I know and family members, because my wife and I, we've been married a long time. So, like, my wife's parents are a little older than mine, but like my wife's parents are in their 80s, and they were my age when we got married. And I tell my wife, I said, your parents were my wife's a year older than me. I'm married to an older woman. So this is what gets me depressed, is that her parents were my age when we got married, and now they're like in their 80s. So I'm at that point, and I'm telling that I feel like I've only got this limited time left, and that's what kind of brings me down a little bit. Yeah, I don't go to New York very often because you guys, I work nonstop. But I was planning a trip to New York that I canceled. I wanted to go. I was going to fly my daughter into New York from Los Angeles and meet her and spend a weekend in New York. And I wanted to stay in that TWA hotel at the airport. And I canceled that whole thing. In large part of this, it's just sick. These are sick people. Yes, I am a Taurus. That's actually the cusp. But yeah, I'm a Taurus. But when I start doing the math on people's ages that way, that's what gets me depressed. Or I'll do the math in reverse. Like my wife and I have been married 27 years. It'll be 28 in December. So we've been married 27 years. 27 years before we got married was 1970. I was not even born yet. So when I start doing the math forwards and backwards, that's what gets me depressed, not the actual age. I don't know if any of you have that experience. Yeah, and I really wanted to go to that TWA hotel. It's fantastic. TWA was owned by Howard Hughes, and it's completely, if you haven't seen it, it's been totally remodeled in this retro thing. It looks like right out of the 60s. It's unbelievable.
Look up in the sky, on a t-shirt, a hoodie, or a
35 years, wow.
The Print Hero team is made up of expert designers and printers, each with their own unique superpowers. Help your company look great. Stand out with your unique lifestyle. The Print Hero has you covered. Let your business soar with Print Hero. Display your logo, lifestyle, or whatever you want the world to see.
We'll be back in 70 seconds.
Best prices and fast turnaround time. Print Hero.
Yeah, we definitely do. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. I want to go right back to the phones when we get back. Thanks, Jack. All right, here we go.
To the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
All right, coming up on 35 minutes after the hour, it's Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. I'm Brian Craig. If you're on hold, stand by. Just to recap what I'm asking you all to weigh in on is this corrupt judge, who should be the one on trial with Bragg, they should be co-defendants in a criminal trial, told Trump that he cannot go to his son's high school graduation. That if he goes to Barron's graduation here in Florida, he'll issue a bench warrant and will be arrested. So I'm asking you all, what do you think President Trump should do? Should he defy the judge, break the law for the first time in his life, and go to the graduation, or not? I say he should defy the judge and go to Barron's graduation. And so far, every caller has agreed. All right, back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. Arnold, Las Vegas.
Hey, Arnold.
Here's what I think Trump is going to do or should do. He can't disobey the law. He can't, because the Democrats will make hay out of that. And he can't miss his son's graduation. So what he does is the school offers 2 graduation classes. One on the weekend, which he would attend. There's no court during the weekend. And another one. And I'm sure he's picked that school because they have leanings towards Trump. And this is an ex-president, and I'm sure the whole school would probably...
Well, the graduation isn't about the parent, it's about the child. And I don't know if they have multiple graduations or one big one. And if they do, and Barron wants to graduate with his bestest of friends, and they happen to be during the week, he should do that one.
No, I understand what he should do, but Trump cannot break the law. He can't give them any more ammunition to fire against him. The simple solution is the school itself either can move or split, and that's the way it is. And Barron can go to...
I don't... Why? So because of this corrupt... You expect the school that... By the way, this is a very, very elite school where the wealthiest people in our society send their children, that they should change their entire schedules of these masters of industries and everything because of this corrupt judge whose daughter took $10 million from Biden, Harris, and Adam Schiff? Oh, my goodness.
No, Brian, I get the story, but the point is, this fight's been called the New York court system. This jerk of a judge, this crooked judge, with his crooked daughter and the crooked media, and everyone is believed to what this is so obvious to us to see. It's a shame.
You know, Ron DeSantis, you know, our governor here, my governor, Ron DeSantis, is doing a lot of things that are very conservative lately. I appreciate it. And by the way, I noticed yesterday he was talking about redoing the Golden Glades interchange. And you guys, oh my goodness, can you imagine that? That's like Florida needs the Golden, you don't know what I'm talking about, but people that drive here, the Golden Glades in Miami is the worst road in the world. It's so overcrowded. So I like this, but he's trying to get us back on his side. You know, if Ron DeSantis really were back on the Trump train, as he claims, talking about doing fundraisers for President Trump, etc., he would announce that he will offer sanctuary for President Trump to come back to Florida for Barron's graduation, just as a symbol that he's with us. But he won't do it, Ron DeSantis. Can't come down off the high heels for that one. He's not really with us.
DeSantis, right now, you're right. He is rallying. He's getting back in the good graces. And I'll tell you what, I think if he just tried a little bit more over the next few months, I think he's a vice presidential timber for Trump, the way it should have been all along.
Now you lost me. All right, appreciate the call. You're on the air. DeSantis is vice president for Trump? I don't think so. He's fake. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Yes, I'm calling from Coconut Creek, Florida.
Welcome.
Gerald.
Welcome.
Thank you. And I don't think that he should go. I would love to see him attend his son's graduation, but if he breaks the law in a case that they consider to be a criminal case, I'm concerned that they're so corrupt that they might try to take away his Secret Service protection.
No, they can't do that. They can't take away his Secret Service protection. That's not allowed. That's not possible. They can't do that.
Yeah, they do. They do a lot of things.
No, that they can't. That they cannot do.
What about Joe Biden?
What about him?
About RFK to have
RFK is not a president. They can't do that. All right, appreciate the call. Big difference. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine, Brian. Good morning.
Hey, Jeff.
Listen, I think, I don't know why schools do, in Maine, most graduations are on Sunday. And, because that's a day when people don't have to work and stuff. And if it's during the week, if he doesn't go, even though it's a lawful order, it's unpopular, I don't think that he should give them any ammo to hound him anymore. I really feel that he should, even though this is completely absurd, this court case and everything, he should abide by the judges, be stately about it. I don't know why because I think he should be personally, I believe he should be at his son's graduation.
Yeah.
I really believe that young man is one squared away on.
I got to tell you, do you have kids?
I had stepchildren.
You have stepchildren. Okay. Well, that could be the same thing. Did you raise them? Oh.
Let me tell you, I would have a hard time sticking my.
I had a business thing that Steve made me go to, and years ago. And I missed doing something with it wasn't a high school graduation, but I missed doing something with my daughter, and it still bothers me, and it's been like 20 years, you know what I mean? And because these are moments that you only get once. You only get once. And, and once they're gone, they're gone. And a high school graduation seems so trivial to I think most adult people, because it's been a long time since your high school graduation. But when you're in high school, it's a big freaking deal. It's a big deal. It really is to your child. It's a big deal.
On this is if, let's say Trump did go, you know how popular he is with law enforcement? Who would arrest him? That would.
Those jerk bailiffs in the courtroom in the white shirts. Remember that one guy? Remember that one guy the first time he went to court there on this, where the bailiff shut the door on Trump's face?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. The first time he went to court in New York on this, when he first went up there. Yeah. It's that same hallway where they have the steady camera where you see the bailiffs now in the white shirts. And these are New York liberal public servants. Just because they got badges doesn't mean they're good guys. They're bad guys. They're New York City municipal public servants. Liberal jerks, almost every one of them. And a lot of them got a lot of issues because they're not good enough to be New York City police officers, so they got to be the bailiffs, Do
you think that Trump will actually defy the order?
It's possible. He was plenty pissed about it yesterday. I could see it.
This is one more thing I wanted to say, Brian. These judges in all these cases, especially that arrogant one, I can't remember. He looks like a slime ball, the one with the white hair and skinny. He has a.
Yeah. And Goron, the one in the property case, the Mar-a-Lago case.
I don't see him not facing.
Justice? Yeah.
Justice when this gets to the appeal court and either the federal appeal court or the Supreme Court throws this out and says this was unwarranted, and if and when that happens, won't the prosecutor and the judge be liable for doing it?
These are all criminals. Okay, and there very well could be federal investigations and arrest of these corrupt public officials in Trump's second term. Absolutely, and it's not revenge; it's justice. These are criminals. Jeff, I got to run for the break, but thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Hey, my true oldies listeners, John Tesh here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you know trust and experience are two big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to jupiterjoe.com. Mention my name, John Tesh. You'll receive a free copy of Joe's book, Retirement Know-It-All. Great book. Call 561-743-0999. Or remember, go to jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com.
Good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day, the buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane to check out KANE and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
Hey, we need a timeout. Is your performance in the bedroom keeping you on the bench? Does fatigue have you feeling subpar? You gotta man up with Game Day Men's Health, where you can find high-quality, effective treatment programs, even if you're on the go. Call 561-355-5341. Testosterone therapy rejuvenates you with a renewed joy of life, with a free consultation and test as quick as 15 minutes. Treat your ED with Gaines Wave, non-invasive sound waves in your blood vessels. Proven by clinical research that it is safe and provides long-term results when you're in the bedroom. Consider HGH therapy to rev up your engine with HGH peptides, helping men fight fatigue and trim belly fat. A 100% bioidentical hormones facility, Game Day Men's Health will get you back in the game in no time. 561-355-5341. Visit our new location in Palm Beach Gardens on the corner of North Lake and North Military Drive. Enjoyable man-cave environment combined with refreshments and flat-screen TVs, aided by expert licensed staff who specialize in male health and wellness. Nothing else compared. Call 561-355-5341 or online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com for more information. Don't sideline your well-being. Let Game Day Men's Health help you score big.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
All right, if you or someone you know are suffering from pain, listen up. You want to go see Dr. Philip Appleton and talk to him about his laser away pain treatment. It works on so many different types of pain. I've got a list that is not a complete list, by the way, of pains that are the most common ones that people suffer from that the laser away pain treatment works on. Acute pain, chronic pain, herniated discs, rotary tears, plantar fasciitis, fibromyalgia, spinal stenosis, sciatica, tinnitus, knee pain. That was the first thing he rid me of, was my suffering of knee pain. Neck pain, back injuries, post-surgical swelling, repetitive motion injuries, strains and sprains, work injuries, sports injuries, bursitis pain, arthritis, and many more. Remember, with the laser away pain treatment, there are no injections, no drugs, no downtime. It's 100% painless, 100% painless. And most importantly, it works because he's rid me of pain 5 times. And in fact, every time Dr. Appleton has treated me with the laser away pain treatment, not only did he rid me of pain, the pain is not returned because the laser away pain treatment repairs the damage that is causing you the pain. Appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. Give him a call 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. All right, so we've got a mixed result here now. Should President Trump break the law for the first time in his life, defy the illegal order of this corrupt judge, and go to Barron's graduation or not? And the audience is pretty split on it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hey, Richard.
Okay, I have something totally different from everyone. First of all, I think Navarro was in contempt of court on a bench warrant, and he spent 24 days.
Contempt of Congress was a little different, but yeah.
Whatever it was extended. But this is what I think will happen. This whole point of this judge is to keep him away from the public 6 to 8 weeks. If he goes to jail, that's the first of many delays. This corrupt judge will find a way to delay it for many different reasons, so he's out of the public eye for 12 weeks. So in that respect, he should just sit down with his son and say, I love you. Your brothers will be there. I'm almost in tears talking like this. Your brother will be there. You know my heart will be there with you. That's one way to do that.
But there's obviously he doesn't have to go, but there's a principle involved here, right?
Right. I don't want any more delays. They're so corrupt, they'll find a way to delay it, even if he...
Do you agree that there's about that if this gets to trial, if they can... Now, they dismissed over 50 potential jurors yesterday. But do you agree that if they get a jury, chances are they'll get a conviction in this corrupt courtroom? Okay, yeah.
They had enough, so that...
Yeah.
Don't talk to his son. The other thing is, go to jail. He'll become like a hero in some respect.
Listen, he is President Trump. Listen, Biden, you know, did you ever see Judgment at Nuremberg, the movie with Spencer Tracy? Okay, that movie was not about the war crime trials of the famous Nazis. It was about the trials of the corrupt judges who, to stay in power for personal gain, followed the illegal orders of the Nazis in the courtroom, right? That's what Judgment at Nuremberg was about. Burt Lancaster was a judge, okay? President, and I'm not calling them Nazis, okay? I'm not calling this judge a Nazi. What I'm saying is he is violating the law knowingly because he's corrupt, because of political reasons. And there's no doubt about it. President Trump is the leader of the political opposition. Biden is just like Putin. Putin put his political opposition leader in a gulag in Siberia. That's what they've done to President Trump. And that courtroom itself is a jail cell. If he leaves that courtroom during court, what if he comes back from the men's room late? Get a bench warrant for that? You know, that courtroom is a jail cell.
And it's more time, no more rallies, no more nothing, because he's in court or in jail.
You know, the great Martin Luther King, I can't remember what the title of the book was. I read this book when I was in school, but he went to jail. He could have avoided jail. Martin Luther King went to jail. He wrote a book when he was sitting in the jail cell. Anybody remember what that book was? It's a great book. I can't remember the title of. You know, when you are the president, I've said time and time again, President Trump is a civil rights leader who's leading more people towards freedom than any other civil rights leader, including Martin Luther King, because he is leading all the American people, not based on religion or skin color. He's leading all the American people to freedom from the slavery of this tyrannical government. You see what's going on here, okay? And sometimes, you know, civil rights leaders like the great Martin Luther King, like the great Rosa Parks, got to get fingerprinted and go in a jail cell to prove a point.
Another thought, it's totally crazy, but he doesn't go to the graduation, and he tells his two sons and anyone else to put at least like a 5-foot picture of him in the seat where President Trump would be sitting.
Like a cardboard cutout?
Yeah, and of course have that tell the public. Somehow he has to say, I told my son I love him, but the corrupt judge won't let me out. Or whatever his name is.
Barron.
This person,
Barron.
Why? Let that be at the headline of the New York Times, and then that big poster size thing there, a protest, and no delay. That's it. He can't be out of the public eye all this time. It's impossible.
I get what you're saying. I mean, yeah, you don't want delays because the trial is to keep him off the campaign trail. They're saying this trial is going to last how long? I hear different things. You think it's really going to last that? They're going to keep this trial going for the whole year. This is going to go on. How long is it going to take to get a jury? They said 2 weeks. It's going to take 2 months to get a jury at this rate.
Right, it's terrible. So that's my.
All right. Take care. Thank you for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, Ben from Pompano.
Hey, Ben.
Yeah, so I honestly, I don't know what the rest of your callers are saying, at least in this segment and the last segment, but I think you should absolutely go. I mean, the sympathy that you would garner, first off, everyone keeps acting like, oh, don't upset the judges more. I don't know if you guys are paying attention. They already hate his guts, and they're going to do anything and everything they can to make his life miserable. So giving them more ammunition or not giving them more ammunition is not a good strategy. They're going to screw him no matter what.
That's right. And by the way, I agree. He should go. And, you know, the Martin Luther King, the book I was referencing, and this is important because, as I say, I believe President Trump's a civil. It was a letter from the Birmingham jail. Okay, and Martin Luther King was put in jail by a Democrat, okay, in Birmingham, and that's when he wrote that book. This is, you got to stand up to corrupt public officials sometimes, and this is him going to the graduation is a nonviolent protest, a peaceful protest.
This is an opportunity. And him going there, giving his son a light kiss on the top of the head and saying, I'm proud of you, every parent out there will be able to relate to him. And then who's going to look like the bad guy when he gets thrown in jail for a day or whatever? The judges. He's going to get sympathy through the roof, as we've seen time and time again. So all these little passive, sort of aggressive callers saying, oh, don't do it, you don't want to upset them no more. Well, it's like, you guys don't know what's going on if you think, like they will, if they can screw them, they'll do it. If they have an opportunity, they're not going to go easy on them, no matter what. If you do it and use the PR opportunity that's being given.
I agree with everything you've said. I mean, I appreciate the call. Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
George, Orlando.
Hey, Orlando.
Yeah, I think he should go home on the weekend, do a major rally down here with his kid, let everybody see it maybe on America One. And by the way, I got some news. I heard Jay from Jersey and Renee Harlow might be on that jury.
I wouldn't be surprised. You don't think? But yeah, you don't think they're trying? But Renee from Harlem having to show up somewhere on time in the morning, I don't know.
Yeah, just a joke. But it's just, I'm sitting here thinking, yeah.
I know it was a joke.
He could go home on the weekend, do a rally on, I don't know.
Yeah, but what kind of protest is that?
Everybody.
I like what the last caller going to the graduation with Barron would be such a powerful statement. I think he should do it. I think he should go to the graduation.
How many days in jail would he have to do?
Well, that I don't know. What Richie said he heard 2 days, but that's I'm sure that's not the maximum, because you're talking about not just defying a judge in a very vocal way, because he violated the gag order talking about it yesterday, right, in that press conference. So he would have violated the gag order. He would have violated the order not to be in the courtroom and go to the graduation, and he'd be crossing state lines many times doing it. So whatever the maximum penalty is, that's what you should really be looking at. And what that maximum penalty is, I don't know. If someone does know, let me know. But it would not be the minimum. It'd be the maximum. By this corrupt judge? Come on.
Maybe Doug, the attorney, what was it, the guy calls in sometimes. Interesting to see what he...
Greg 2? You mean Greg 2? I've never heard Greg 2 render a legal opinion during his calls, ever. But maybe today will be different. All right, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. All right, we're coming up on our top of the hour break. My name is Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show. It's really a mixed bag. I think it's mostly, though, most people say Trump should defy the judge and go to Barron's graduation. I believe he should defy the judge and go to his son's graduation, too. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be back with more of your calls after this.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WYRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canals Media Group. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good day, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. So today we're going to see a high of 80 degrees, beautiful sunshine, not too bad with the humidity, really looking good. It's going to be dry with some east wind. I'm going to be PBS. Hi, good morning, meteorologist Sandra Shaw. Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com.
Oh, my goodness, guys.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Up to speed and no delays on the Turnpike at 95 north.
He did not fall asleep. I'm going to talk about that when we get back.
Lake Worth Construction, Pipe-Luxo Road, Lions Road to Smith Farm Boulevard. This traffic update is
By the way, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Barron's graduation is Friday, May 17th. All right.
for an annual plan by April the 20th. You get one application free. Call or visit TrueGreen.com today. Restrictions apply. That's traffic. I'm Lori Don.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours in the weather's big labs. That's why I do any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Cool Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you can find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send to my doctor. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Coral Springs. Any lab test now in Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard, on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any lab test now in Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Bramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call any lab test now in Boca at 561-237-5009. Any lab test now at Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. Don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. The Supreme Court today takes arguments on the legality of the charges brought against January 6th insurrectionists.
Federal prosecutors have charged more than 300 people with obstructing an official proceeding.
Be right back.
Law has been properly applied. It was passed in 2002 as part of the Sarbanes-Oxley financial reforms. Defense attorneys say it applies to documents and congressional investigations. Federal prosecutors say it can and should be read to cover the riot that delayed the counting of electoral votes. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Jury selection resumes today for Donald Trump's hush money trial in New York City. Not a single juror was chosen on Monday. The New York Yankees announced that health concerns are
27cash.com. 27cash.com. On the air since 1977. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. Hour number 2 has begun. My name's Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. And just to recap, this corrupt judge, Laura Loomer said the judge's wife works for Letitia James. Boy, oh boy. The corrupt judge told President Trump he cannot attend Barron's high school graduation here in Florida. And I'm asking you all what you think. Should he defy the judge and break the law for the first time in his life, Donald Trump, and go to the graduation? I say he should. Most everybody who's called in agrees, but not everyone. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hey, Doug.
I certainly don't think he should break the law. You know, he's never broke the law. He's the president of the United States to be, and president of the United States past. He's got to show an example that you don't break the law. And even though this guy is somebody else, I'd say yes, you definitely break the law, but not him.
Yeah, but you've got kids. How many kids do you have?
I have 2.
And how old are they?
18 and 15.
Okay, so have you had the graduation yet this year, or last year, or is it coming up?
It's coming up.
I mean, could you? I mean, I cannot imagine you missing your daughter's graduation. It's a big deal to kids when they graduate. They drive around with the cars that say seniors all over them, class of whatever year it is. It is like the high point of a kid's life is graduating high school.
Without a doubt, it's a big thing, but, you know, I think the Trumps are above this. They're smart. Barron, I certainly think will feel bad, but I think it's...
You know, this is, you know, when you get, I was talking during the break in the YouTube chat. My birthday is Saturday. And thank you very much. I appreciate it. And, of course, I remind people every year my birthday is the same day as Adolf Hitler's birthday, and it's also International Marijuana Day. Yeah, Hitler's birthday is April 20th, as is Eddie Murphy and George Takei, by the way, but who cares about them? Yeah, so I share a birthday with Hitler. Isn't that nice? But, you know, what I have come to realize in the last year, this last year, is that we only have a finite time. We only have a finite time, and we are so busy in our lives, and I got to tell you, I'm as busy gets, and with work-wise, you know. I mean, you guys know, I do shows every day, I do all this stuff. And, you know, and life can pass you by before you know it. Life can pass you by before you know it. And you only have a few years, and the older you get, there's fewer years. I've gotten to that point in my life where this is kind of depressing, but it's true. There are fewer days ahead than behind, right? Fewer days ahead than behind, unless I'm going to be like 100 and something years old, which I doubt. So, you know, and President Trump's much older than me. This is the last one of his children who will graduate high school. This is a big deal. And unlike his other kids, you know, there was a documentary about rich kids in the Hamptons that was made when Ivanka was a high school kid. And she was in it. And her friends were in it. And they were partying they were rich kids, right? Rich kids. It was a fascinating documentary. I've not seen it in many, many years, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was about rich kids in the Hamptons. And they were interviewing some of these kids, and this one kid, he was a friend of Ivanka's, said, yeah, one of my friends that's not from the Hamptons, his parents came one weekend, and my parents asked his parents where they summer. And, you know, they like the most of us, they summer where they winter and fall and spring, you know. But they're elite. Barron, the liberals have put him through hell, starting with Rosie O'Donnell on election night when she said he looked like he had Downs. Remember that? Barron was 11. The results came in at like 3 a.m., They woke him up. They took him out on stage with the president and Melania and the rest of the family. He was asleep. He was an 11-year-old kid. I know he's like 12 feet tall, but he's... And Rosie O'Donnell was saying that he had looked like he had Down syndrome. Remember all that? So Barron has been put through the ringer by these animals. And I'll tell you what, they're going to put him through the ringer for the rest of his life, because not only is his last name Trump, he looks just like Dad. So Barron is going to be tortured by these Trump derangement syndrome sufferers for the rest of this century, right? For the rest of this century. So, and this high school, and President Trump isn't, sadly, he's not a young man. I wish he was 35, you know? So we'd have, but he's not. This is important. And Barron is owed this because of what these monsters have done to him in the last 7-8 years, since Rosie O'Donnell started that thing at the election night.
I'm wondering where there is a conservative high court judge that can come to the rescue and get this trial. Not at this,
you know, Steve and I were friends with a guy who, I don't want to say his name because he's a good guy, but we were friends with a guy who's an attorney, and we used to have him on the show all the time during OJ and stuff like this, and he went on to become a judge. And he's a lifelong friend of mine, this guy. I don't want to say his name on the air because he's a local guy, and he got himself into some trouble. Some allegations were made against him, not criminal or anything, but of inappropriate things, which I don't know if were true or not. He's a good guy. And what happened? He had to go up in front of the Florida Supreme Court, and they disbarred him. They removed him from the bench, and he can't practice law. He's a mediator now, okay? He's a mediator because, he can't practice law. They removed him from the bench, and what he was doing was jaywalking, basically, compared to this judge. And I'm here to tell you, because of what they have put Barron through and what they're going to put him through for the rest of his life. They've done him like Nick Sandmann with that fake Indian, but his whole life, okay? And through Barron's entire life, these liberal monsters are going to be harassing him. He's a kid, he's 18. He's going to live to be 118, and in the next 100 years, they're going to make him miserable every chance they get because he looks just like his dad. This graduation is important. It's important for Barron. It's important for the president. It's important for the country.
Somebody's going to come to the rescue and get the judge some leniency there to let him go see Barron.
I mean, can you imagine what, do you remember when Rosie O'Donnell was talking about Barron the next day?
Man, I couldn't stand that.
She said that he was mentally something like retarded or something because Down syndrome or something, We all have kids. You wake up a 10 or 11-year-old kid at 3 in the morning, which, by the way, they've been up all day, probably sleeping in a chair backstage in the suit. They're all going to look like that.
A miserable thing. She's a miserable woman. So these Democrats are just miserable, evil people, but they
well, that's right. That's right. Appreciate the call. So, this isn't just some regular event. There's a lot of importance into Barron's graduation and President Trump being there, in my opinion. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Eric from Florida.
Hey, what's up?
Should go. Hey, what's up? I think he should go. Hey, by the way, happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right. I think he should go. Because the Bible calls him the lawless one. So, he's the Antichrist. So he's going to break the law anyway. You know what I mean? It's MO. That's what he do.
Yeah.
The law.
You're like let me tell you. I've been doing this for, I want to tell you this. This is, and I mean this. I've been doing this for over 30 years. I have talked to, I don't know how many thousands of, Craig Worthing, who used to be on the radio for many, many years, Craig Worthing. Al Knight, who does weekends here, worked with Craig Worthing for many years, and he kept a diary of every call he ever got. And he did a show, which was like, was it his 10,000th call or 10,000 show? He kept track of how many calls he got from his first time on the air. I've never done that, okay? I've talked to thousands of people on the phones, tens of thousands. I'm sure Joyce, who's been on the air almost as long as me, has talked to 3 or 4 dozen who have called her show over there. The point is, out of the tens of thousands of people who have called me on the radio over the past 30 years, you are the worst caller I've ever had that has zero, and you add, I wanted to emphasize how important this, what a meaningful thing here. You are useless as a caller. You contribute less than nothing because I'll tell you why. Because every call you say the same thing word for word. You're the worst. You're the worst. The only thing that makes you the least bit interesting is because of my mockery of you. Okay? If it weren't, you were the worst. And let me tell you, I have had terrible callers. There was this one guy who, Sam, anybody remember Sam the Poet Man? Oh my gosh. This guy, Sam the Poet Man, every call he'd read a poem that he wrote. And it was a form of poetry that wasn't haiku and it didn't rhyme and it sucked. He was better than you. He was better than you. But that we're not going to prolong the misery. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Sloman is doing it again.
Oh, Sam the Poet Man. He was awful.
332835050, and Sloman will give you a free home security system.
All right, I get it, Mr. DJ. We've heard you say it a million times on the radio station. Sloman is the best in home security. It's privately owned.
It's true. He's the worst. I was not exaggerating. But notice how I got a jab at Joyce Kaufman's pathetic show. I've talked to tens of thousands of people on the phones over the years, and she's had 3 or 4 dozen call her in her 30 years on the air. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. You'll very much enjoy this channel. I promise you.
Team is made up of expert designers and printers, each with their own unique superpowers. Help your company look great. Stand out with your unique lifestyle. The Print Hero has you covered. Let your vision soar with Print Hero. Display your logo, love, lifestyle, or whatever you want the world to see on a t-shirt, hoodie, or hat. Best prices and fast turnaround time. Print Hero, a company that goes above and beyond.
The mic does actually drop all the time in the studio when this little screw comes loose, right? So...
The way you know you should be. This is John, CFO at Lighthouse Medical Center. Our hormone optimization therapy programs have helped so many people get back to feeling the way they did in their 20s. They're full of energy after a long day, reduced their risk of heart disease, sexual vigor and excitement have great, sleeping the way they should without disturbances, and reducing their symptoms of aging. Our all-natural hormone optimization therapy is precise, easy, and effective from day one. Office visits are usually less than 5 times per year, and the cost is only $150 per month for most patients. Let our medical team get you optimized and living your best life. Our family medical practice has been serving South Florida for over 71 years. Let us show you what personalized medical care and being treated like family feels like. Call us at 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. Or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today. Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at...
All right, we are back. Callers on hold, stand by. Should President Trump break the law for the first time in his life, defy the corrupt judge in New York, and go to Barron's graduation in Florida? I say yes. I laid out my case as to the importance of it in the last segment. Your thoughts, yes or no on this, are welcome at 1-888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. You know, inflation is out of control. Did you see there's a story today that car insurance is going through the roof. Auto insurance. My insurance bill has gone. My wife told me over the weekend what our auto insurance cost, and it was so high I don't even remember what it was because I blacked it out. I don't want to know. And I read an article this morning that auto insurance is going up all over the country. You know why? Inflation. This senile old coot with his two junkie kids who takes bribes, okay, has caused so much inflation that car parts have gone up so much that insurance companies are raising their rates. There's only one place where I found where not only has inflation not raised the prices, but we have deflation and a lowering of prices, and I'm talking about Friendly Tire in Margate. Now, for quite some time, I've been telling you, Friendly Tire in Margate has new tires for as low as $70 a tire. Well, that is no longer the case. Friendly Tire now has new tires for as low as $65 a tire. And remember, that's out the door and on the road. Because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or even dispose of your old tire. And I know some of you are thinking, well, he sells used tires. He sells those tires. No. Not all the old tires can he resell. And there's a guy that comes along every once in a while and takes the old tires away. And this blew my mind. Do you know he has to pay this guy to do it? I was in shock. And it's not cheap per tire. It's a few dollars per tire. And I said, Friendly Mike, he owns Friendly Tire. I said, I thought the guy would pay you because he's going to take these and recycle them. He's like, no, I got to pay him per tire. So, you know, that price you get, as low as $65 a tire for new tires, is out the door and on the road. All the cars in my family, including my daughter in California, are driving on tires from Friendly Tire in Margate. The number, give him a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Megan from Texas.
Hey, Megan.
Hi. Oh, first off, your last caller, he didn't graduate from any school. He's a moron. So that put aside, this so-called judge is going to arrest President Trump no matter what he does or doesn't do. Say, go to your son's graduation.
Absolutely.
Once-in-a-lifetime event. And just go, because I don't care if he's in jail, out of jail, whatever. I'm voting for President Trump now and always.
You know, Eldridge Cleaver from the Black Panthers, an old friend of Steve and mine, he went to prison. Eldridge Cleaver from the Black Panthers, look it up. He wrote a book in prison called Soul on Ice. It was a best-selling book. My only regret is I never got him to autograph a copy of it for me. But, you know, this when you are a political dissident, when you are a political prisoner, sometimes going in a jail cell for a little while helps. Martin Luther King went to jail more than once for a little bit of time.
Well, in keeping with your last caller, how about I throw out the fact that in the Bible, Paul went to jail.
Yes.
So, President Trump, if you're listening, go.
Listen, Rosa Parks got arrested. Mandela went to prison. Gandhi. I mean, the points. This judge is, and I don't say this lightly. He is the most openly corrupt judge in the history of the United States. I'm not saying he's the most corrupt judge that this country's ever had, but he's doing it openly, right? The other ones do it in secret. They don't do it publicly. They don't have their daughter on Twitter with Trump behind prison bars and Getting paid $10 million from Biden, Harris, and Adam Schiff, right? Yeah. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. Great calls today, by the way, except for that one guy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Juan from Coral Springs.
Hey, Juan.
Good morning. Listen, this graduation thing happens to be, in my case, generational. My father, who's still alive, 93 years old, is a doctor, did not go to my high school graduation. That hurts till this day.
Who didn't? Your dad didn't go to your high school graduation?
Which back in those days, that was the only graduation. And let me say,
Why didn't your dad go? Why didn't he go?
Because he got called into the hospital for an emergency.
Oh, he was a doctor.
He's a retired doctor. And then what happened was that the person that he put on to cover him did not show up for that emergency, and Dad had to go ahead and step in, and because he was.
Well, would someone have died if your dad went to your graduation?
Yes.
Oh, so you think your dad should have let this person die to go to your graduation?
No, I'm not saying that. We've already talked about that. We've already made a reconciliation about that. But back in those days, I'm 60 years old. Back in those days, the main thing was graduation from high school. Nowadays, they can graduate kindergarten.
A lot of times when I'll see, yeah, go ahead.
My daughter now, who is going to graduate from the 5th grade, all right? And I'm having marital problems.
Oh.
But hold on. But I had a restraining order that was dissolved, and my daughter kept calling me and inviting me to her graduation. And I said, I will be there no matter what, even if I get arrested, because the restraining order that has since been dissolved.
Your wife it got a restraining order against you? Oh my goodness. What'd you do?
I was unfaithful to her.
Well, but what did you do that got the restraining order?
I was unfaithful to her.
How do you get a restraining order for that?
You don't get a restraining order for that, but I don't want to get into the details of atrocities.
But you cheated on her with like a girlfriend or a hooker?
No, it's a long-time girlfriend. I knew.
Oh my goodness. High school? Did you reconnect on Facebook or something?
No, we reconnected because we really never let go of each other, and.
Oh. Are you with her now?
I talk, but I'm not with her as far as.
Is she married?
Well, yes.
Oh my goodness, you're a wreck.
No, I'm not.
You destroyed two families. Well, anyway, back to the graduation. So yeah, graduation's a big deal. I mean, in your instance, you still have issues with your dad. He didn't go to yours, even though a man would have died if your dad went to your graduation.
That's why I forgave him. And the thing is, though, nothing now will keep me from my daughter's graduation, which, like I said, the restraining order has been.
5th grade's not the same as high school, and be honest, Juan, be honest. Part of this is you and the wife, okay, are still in a divorce and a conflict, and you're going there to establish your rights as a dad. It's not the same thing as high school graduation, 5th grade graduation. It's important, but it's not the same thing.
Absolutely it is, because, the thing is that nowadays, there's graduation for every accomplishment that kids get. And I know I disagree with you with Ron DeSantis. I mean, this is why I support Ron DeSantis, because, this guy is...
Because he's unfaithful like you, right? He was unfaithful to MAGA and Trump.
Well, but you know what? You got to learn to forgive. Are you not going to vote for him if he runs in 2028?
If he run, what does that mean? If he has the nomination? Yeah. If he has the nomination and he's running against a Democrat, you're not talking about the primary. You're talking about like if he's the nominee in 2028. I'd have to think about that.
You know what? The thing is that he's protecting our kids. And and that's why he's important to me. And we can disagree on that, Brian. We don't have to agree on everything. The bottom line is that he is protecting our kids I mean, you don't have a kid in school anymore. I do have 2 younger kids. I'm an older father. But the bottom line is that, you know what? Nothing will keep me from the graduation. And me and my wife are working things out. And I'm going to go to that graduation.
Well, let me tell you something, okay? Let me give you some advice. Work things out with your wife and stop talking to that homewrecker that you were hooking up with. She's a homewrecker.
Well, we've known each other for a long time, but
So what? So what?
No, you're right on that one. You're right on that one. And I'm working on my wife and I'm working on my family because that's the number one thing after God.
Great. You're doing the right thing now, Juan. I appreciate. All right, listen, I'm late for a break. Good luck. All right, we'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Asking personal questions over the air is weird. He brought the subject up. Yeah, the 5th grade graduation is just about him and his wife's divorce. It's not the same thing. I see this all the time with people that are divorced. You're not going to tell me I can't see my kid and all this crap. They don't give a damn about the kid. I mean, he can't stop talking to the other woman. No, it's the week after next. Yeah, we leave a week from Saturday. Yeah. All right, calls on hold, stand by. I have been alerted that I must correct something I said. I do not share a birthday with Eddie Murphy, just Hitler, April 20th. Eddie Murphy's birthday is April 3rd. I used to have a calendar when I was a kid, and it said Eddie Murphy's birthday was on April 20th. I guess that calendar was wrong. It didn't have Hitler on it, though. It was Eddie Murphy and George Takei, but Eddie Murphy's April 3rd. I just looked at his Wikipedia. All right, so we're talking about a lot today, but mainly we're talking about whether or not, and I think and I'll recap this in a little bit, the importance of it for those that weren't listening earlier. But I believe President Trump should break the law for the first time in his life, defy this corrupt judge, and go to Barron's graduation for the reasons I stated earlier, which I'll recap later. What do you think? 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Chris.
Yes, Chris.
There are two things. First of all, I don't think he should break the law, and that he should go. I tell you why. We forget this judge should also impose a fine, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to go through that again. And also the traffic. Every day the traffic is bad for people. They don't like. They haven't been held back. Everything is tied up in the money, the expense. So somebody eventually will get to the judge and say, look, cut it out. Also, the two lawyers that are Jewish, they have to work on Passover. He said they have to work. They can't take off. So a lot of things are going to bounce back at this judge. Let him go.
Well, you're an older guy. I'm sure you have kids.
Yes, I do.
Did you go to their high school graduation?
Of course.
It's a big deal to kids. It's a big deal.
Some people can, some people can't, and some can't, Like some of the older generations, they'll be high schoolers, that's nice stuff, but like...
Let me tell you, I don't know any living parent, personally in my life, that did not go to their child's graduation.
I understand that, but I mean, I'm thinking about let's go back to the fine. What if the judge imposes a fine? What is he going to do?
Pay it. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and the New Yorkers are going to blame Trump for the traffic.
No, they won't, because Trump wants to stay home. Judge says he has to go.
No.
Trump says, I'll stay home. Judge, you ordered me to come to... I can't be responsible for the traffic.
I just don't think you understand. What I was talking about earlier is Barron Trump has been harassed by these Trump derangement syndrome sufferers since election night when he was 11, when Rosie O'Donnell started talking about him having Down syndrome, which is not true. They just woke him up at 3 a.m. to come out and be on TV. And you know that out of everyone in the Trump family, Barron's going to suffer the longest because he's the youngest. And this kid is going to spend the next 100 years being harassed by these Trump derangement suffering Democrats because of who his dad is and that he looks just like him, right? He looks like his clone, and this graduation is an important, very important moment for Barron and I think for the country.
That's your thinking. I appreciate that, but I'm just saying I don't want him to go through that thing of trying to get a fine, the money up for a fine.
You really think over a couple dollars? Over a couple dollars, you're gonna? I mean, Trump's rich.
How rich can you be when they impose $355 million?
Yeah, we got a bond on that. He's got it. And how much of a fine can he impose this corrupt judge for this?
Not to break the law. What? I don't want to break the law. I'm going to do right. I'm teaching you this. Go. My heart is with you. My soul. Everything's with you.
The judge is a monster. The judge is a demon to not allow Trump to go to Barron's graduation.
Fully understandable, but I still say we don't want him to go through that process again. I'm sure the jury that he's a scofflaw, he's a breaker, he doesn't get it there.
Okay. All right. I appreciate the call. Oh, by the way, there's a big false narrative going on that Trump fell asleep in court yesterday. You see this? with the picture. They got his eyes closed. Total BS. Have you seen video of that? No. You see a still picture. They got a high quality still photograph of Trump blinking, and they say he's asleep. Meanwhile, Biden, who met with the Prime Minister of Iraq yesterday, wearing a mask. Why was Biden wearing a mask with the Iraqi Prime Minister yesterday? Kind of looked like a burqa. Biden fell asleep during a press conference with the Iraqi Prime Minister yesterday. Trump blinks. They get a 4K, 5K photograph of it. They must have, whatever setting you put on your camera to get the fastest photograph, like sports. Remember when we used to have film, and if you were going to film motion, you'd buy like 200 speed, 400 speed film. Whatever adjustments they make on digital cameras these days, for sports, they catch him blinking. They got one shot that's not blurry, and they say, look, he fell asleep. He was blinking. Bunch of nonsense, these people. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Patrick from Broward.
Yep. Thank you.
So I've been listening to the past guy. I think you've kind of been on the fence. I think you swayed me towards you should go to the graduation camp. My one concern is if Trump gets arrested and goes to jail, even if it's just for 2 days, what's to prevent them from basically...
No. I don't want to, I know where that's going. We're not going to get into that. Listen, there's only so much they can do for that kind of issue in a case like this. And I don't know, and again, I'm throwing this out. If anyone I know where that guy was going, which, these callers, what do we think we're stupid? There was a whole setup with that, trying to soften me up. It's not going to, what a bunch of nonsense. If someone knows what the maximum penalty is in New York, give me a call and let me know. Now, I want to tell you guys, Mike Lindell at MyPillow, you want to talk about a guy that's been oppressed because he's MAGA. Look what they've done to him. They kicked him off of QVC. QVC just did a mass layoff of hundreds of people. Did you know this? QVC, they laid off hundreds of people, including on-air people. Yeah. They started to go down, and they're trying to blame, Amazon or something. Amazon's been around for years. Word's gotten around what they did to Mike Lindell, and QVC is going the way of Bed Bath & Beyond because people are tired of being insulted and are standing up. Okay? And, when you go to MyPillow.com, you're going to, and use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, not only are you supporting the most MAGA company out there in this great program of ours, but you're getting great products too. There are massive sales going on some of the top MyPillow products, and you can use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, on all the specials at MyPillow.com, not just the ones I highlight. But I want to tell you, the MyPillow mattress topper you can get for 50% off right now and free shipping with our promo code Kane at checkout. Every bed in my family has a MyPillow mattress topper on it, even beds that aren't in my house, okay? We buy them for people as gifts. They're great. I have one on the guest bed at home, too, when guests come over. If you already, when you have guests come, you don't want them sleeping on an uncomfortable bed. That's all they'll remember. Get them that MyPillow mattress topper. Get that on your guest bed, and when you have guests over, they'll tell everybody what a great night's sleep they got. If you don't have one yourself, get one. It will change your life. The first night I got my MyPillow mattress topper, we slept on it the day it arrived. That night, it was a Saturday, and I woke up on Sunday morning, and the sun was out. That was the first time I'd woken up with the sun out in years. Because on the weekends, I wake up early too. But not with that MyPillow mattress topper. I wake up when my alarm goes off. Now, I do get up early in the morning, but I set my alarm. You'll get a night's sleep like you've never had before each and every night for the rest of your life. The MyPillow mattress topper, 50% off with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right
Awesome, Joan.
The Steve
timeout. Is your performance in the bedroom keeping you on the bench? Does fatigue have you feeling subpar? You got to man up with Game Day Men's Health, where you can find high-quality, effective treatment programs, even if you're on the go. 561-355-5341. Testosterone therapy rejuvenates you with a renewed joy of life, with a free consultation and test as quick as 15 minutes. Treat your ED with Gaines Wave, non-invasive sound waves in your blood vessels. Proven by clinical research that it is safe and provides long-term results when you're in the bedroom. Consider HGH therapy to rev up your engine with HGH peptides, helping men fight fatigue and trim belly fat. A 100% bioidentical hormones facility, Game Day Men's Health will get you back in the game in no time. 561-355-5341. Visit our new location in Palm Beach Gardens on the corner of North Lake and North Military Trail. Their enjoyable man cave environment provides refreshments and flat screen TVs, aided by expert licensed staff who specialize in male health and wellness. Nothing else compared. Call 561-355-5341 or online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com for more information. Don't sideline your well-being. Let Game Day Men's Health help you score big.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious. Crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade. Nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Do you have questions about retirement? Hi, it's Kathy Green, co-host of the Jupiter Joe Money Show. Tune in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday at 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 7:30 a.m. to the Jupiter Joe Money Show. We answer all kinds of questions about retirement right here on your True Oldies channel.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. Where are you calling from?
Oh, yeah. 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 Yeah.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
CR gifted a membership. Thanks so much. And Bill got it. Now, Bill, you're in a. You get all the emojis and everything.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number toll free 1-888-465-2631. It seems to me that the majority of the callers today have said that President Trump should stand up to this corrupt judge. Stand up to this corrupt judge and go to Barron's graduation. Yes. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Rabbi. What's up?
I don't know if anyone mentioned this. I have been listening, but it may change your mind about the Trump situation. I worry that if he goes to jail because he went to his son's graduation, how would it affect his son knowing that he somehow forced his father to be in that situation?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the only thing, that he's a young man, and it's not nice that his father sits in jail, that he says, because my father went to my graduation, he's now in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
You fear about this.
Yeah, that's a point to be made. Yeah, I hadn't considered that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only, that to me is the only part of it, and it's a strong part of it. And he might find other of giving his son attention. Zoom or something else.
Let me ask you, since we got you here, Rabbi, on another subject. I mean, how are American Jews feeling with this unmasking of the millions of anti-Semitic Muslim terrorist supporters that have just come out of the closet since October in this country? It must be terrifying to be a Jew right now in America.
Yeah, well, I might mention before that, I've never seen so many religious Jews, arming themselves and going to, shooting ranges, and we really feel it. Again, liberal Jews, they're not the connection. They don't care. They don't care about a lot of things. They're pretty ignorant. But those who care about Israel are really feeling.
Yeah.
Understand that this is a different temperature. Of course, the people who are these pro-Palestinian, etc., they're just stupid. I mean, if you ever interviewed one of them or people talk to them, they're going in with ignorance. They're going in for other reasons.
But I was talking. There's a lot of there are some young conservatives who look at U.S. support of Israel the same way they look at U.S. support of Ukraine, and they just don't understand just on a basic matter. Israel is an ally of ours. Ukraine isn't. So if England or Canada had 900 rockets launched at it by Iran, we would stand up and defend Canada and England. Okay, so there's the allied thing, but I don't think they teach about the Holocaust anymore. I don't think that young people realize.
Right, and you mentioned the Holocaust correctly, because this isn't about land. With Ukraine, I want to take back Crimea, and I'm just, they're crying over land. This is about genocide. This is about killing Jews. The Holocaust was not about land. Oh, we want your house in Poland. That's not what. The same thing in Israel. They're not discussing get out of the West Bank, quote unquote, and go to Tel Aviv. Okay, they're saying get out. Okay, not only get out, but genocide is okay. You should even.
Well, and when the Nazis, if you remember, you've seen all these movies about Rommel and Montgomery and everything in North Africa fighting. The Nazis didn't have to invade North Africa. The Muslims welcomed them in because they're like-minded, and what I don't think people learn is that when the Holocaust, when the Nazis came to power, and Jews in Germany and in Europe were starting to see what was going on, they had nowhere to go. Even this country wouldn't accept Jews. And Israel was established so that Jews would have a place to go just in case the Nazis came back to power. It's the Jewish homeland for that.
I have to say, I've heard you say it before, Israel was established thousands of years before.
I understand that, but I'm talking about in a secular way, that there's not this basic understanding of why Israel was established in 1948 by the United Nations. Yeah.
You're right about that, because I always say that the difference between this Holocaust, that took place in October, and the past Holocaust, is that this Holocaust, now that we're seeing with Iran and everything else, there is Israel Defense Forces. Okay, so now there is a homeland, there is an army.
Yes.
We have an army that goes into Uganda and rescues Jews when they were hijacked. That is the difference. And for the Jewish people that have been persecuted for so many years, for millennia, it needs to have a homeland.
But I'm seeing anti-Semitism. I talk a lot about Candace Owens and Candace Owens and this, because Candace Owens, she doesn't know it. She's too uninformed to know this, but she hates Jews. And she doesn't understand that she hates Jews. Even she's so far gone.
Yeah, my experience with Candace is, and I mentioned I don't get too detailed, but she is about being angry. Okay, think about the Jewish part. She just lives on going after whatever she could be angry about. She thrives on, we've always seen her in those congressional committees where she's, you see her so good. She's angry at whoever the congressman, because she's very good at being angry and tough that way. But there's no substance behind it. She doesn't have the knowledge. When it comes to Israel, she doesn't have the knowledge either. That she thinks there's a Muslim quarter, and the Muslim quarter means there are only Muslims live there. She's an idiot.
Yeah, and there's this thing that people talk about a lot. I got a message from a listener, a conservative, yesterday, and this is a conservative person, and they sent me this message. And let me read this to you. They said people need to look deeper into the problem of Zionism. I'm not a supporter of Iran or Islam, but Zionism is a detriment to America as well. What is this person thinking? What does that even mean?
An idiot. People don't know.
Tell people what Zionism is, Rabbi, if you don't mind.
Zion is the yearning of a Jew to be in his homeland that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob lived in, thousands of years before even the Bible was given. And then after it was given at Mount Sinai, that the Jews went after Egypt to Israel. That is the yearning of a Jew to be in their homeland. That's what it is.
Yeah, and by the way, all the Christians, including Candace Owens and others, we know that God gave the land of Israel to the Jews because the Bible tells us so, right? All right, Rabbi, thanks for the call. All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. I a lot of your listeners, Brian, I really don't think that the people understand. I mean, yeah, it's good to support Israel and all that stuff and what they did, but what they are doing is their style of warfare. They're killing more children than they are.
Who? What? Did you say you want to lie to the listeners?
I just said that what they're doing is their style of.
Who's the they? Who are you talking about? Who's the they?
Is
the Jews.
Oh my! Is individuals.
The Jews. Okay, the Jews are doing what?
The Jews are.
Hear how he says that? The way you say the Jews, the way you said the Jews, you said the Jews. Why this weird emphasis and syllables where there aren't any? Why do you say the Jews? Why do you say it that way? Why do you say it that way?
First, hey, Brian, I said Israel first. You're the one that said the Jews.
No, I didn't say the. I didn't hold my nose and say the Jews. I said the Jews. You said the Jews. Why did you say it that way? What does that mean? That sounds derogatory.
You're talking semantics. If I call them people from Israel, you call them Jews. What's the big deal?
Because when you say Jews, you say it with an air of anti-Semitism.
Okay. And the way
no denial.
You talk about the Palestinian children, the way they're dying over there, and what we're doing is just, oh my God, I can't believe we're not supporting Israel more. What are you talking about?
Well, listen. One of my best friends told me a terrible story. He's a Vietnam veteran. He's older guy. He's retired, and he told me the first person he killed in Vietnam was a 12-year-old girl. And I said, do you feel guilty about that? He said, no. She was going to kill me and my friends. I had to do it. These terrorists, when they surround themselves with human shields, it's the terrorist's fault, the collateral damage.
You're telling me now that a gentleman who was forced to kill somebody with an AK-47 in style or airstrike missiles, you're talking that is relatable?
I don't know what you're saying, but mm-hmm.
You just compared an aerial assault and then two people who have a one-on-one standoff.
A one-on-one standoff? You mean like the girls they raped and murdered at the music festival? That was a one-on-one standoff?
As I said, Brian, okay, God, you're really good at this.
Yes, I am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You are. You're good at very twisting.
I am very good at this. I am very good at what I do. Yes. Thank you.
Too, I was very surprised 2 minutes ago that when you said you had a friend. Good for you.
Yes.
I'm just saying that I think that these people are being...
These people. All right. Listen, we're up against the break. Thank you for your call. Did you guys notice that little tone he had when he said the Jews? I did. I heard it. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back after this.
USFS 104.3.
Single next.
Okay.
And yeah, he's definitely saying it like a mockingly.
The Jews. Yeah, I know.
Come on.
I know. It's hilarious. Yeah.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com. Where luxurious
All right. Good morning, Dee. The last call, Chris says the last caller makes Renee from Harlem seem reasonable. Every line on the board is lit.
It was passed in 2002 as part of the Sarbanes-Oxley financial reforms. Defense attorneys say it applies to documents in congressional investigations. Federal prosecutors say it can and should.
Every line on the board is lit. I'm going to take these calls in the order in which they were received to the best of my ability.
Jury selection resumes today. Donald Trump's hush money trial in New York City. Not a single juror was chosen on Monday. The New York Yankees announced that health concerns are spurring the immediate departure of 85-year-old longtime radio play-by-play announcer John Sterling. This is ABC News.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Well, thank you, Chris.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right, we are back. My name is Brian Craig, Steve Kane joining us, and I will make this announcement, Steve. This show, right now, we are the opposite of the Joyce Kaufman show. You know what that means? Yes, that's true, but also we are the complete opposite of the Joyce Kaufman show because every line on our board is lit. That's correct. The complete opposite of the Kaufman show. Well, you know, she shouldn't have done that thing 30 years ago. Don't screw people over, guys. Don't screw people. I don't hold grudges other than that one. So let me recap what we're talking about, and then can we go to the phone, Steve? Because a lot of these people have been on hold for a while. Let me recap what we've been talking about for those that are just tuning in, okay? This corrupt judge yesterday, who Laura Loomer reported that the judge's wife works for Letitia James. Crazy. The judge said that President Trump cannot go to Barron's high school graduation here in Florida. And that's a big deal. And I've been asking people to call in today and share their thoughts. Should President Trump, for the first time in his life, break the law, defy the corrupt judge's order, and go to Barron's graduation? I believe he should. And most, not all, but most of our callers in this audience agree. Okay, so let's go to the phones. I'm going to take these calls in the order in which they were received to the best of my ability. All right? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Dr. Lemaski.
Oh, Dr. Janae Lemaski. Hi. Did you hear the mental patients that have been calling me this morning and feel that you need to call in and offer your therapy services to them?
I have, but the way we are in the world right now, we are beyond a mental crisis. This is like the amount of psychopathology that people have, and interestingly enough, if you've never been to Israel and you're not Israeli or Jewish, if you've never been to the Middle East, which I have many times, and you have so much anger and so much sureness about what's going on, is absolutely ridiculous. You should just keep quiet, go focus on your life. I'm sure that you need to take care of your own life and get your life in order. Israel, if you've been there, versus Syria, Iran, Palestine, it's completely different. The people, the culture, the understanding of how they feel about family, morals, values. These people are clueless, okay? And when you say that the IDF, which is an army, okay, to defend, not kill, and you're talking about Hamas, Hezbollah, you're talking about ISIS, you're talking about terror. You have no idea. As I was there in August of 2023, and I was going through the quarters, and I was in the Jewish quarter, and the Muslim quarter, and the Armenian quarter. When they see a Jew, the Muslims, when they see a Jew wearing a yarmulke, they throw rocks at them. They don't care if you're a kid. My child, at 6 years old, rocks were thrown at his ankles. Okay?
Wow.
Walking through as they're sitting there selling, okay, their merchandise. So that's just one part of it, okay? And I'm not saying, well, Arabs are bad, and yes, there are Arabs and Jews that get along, but when it comes to Hamas and what governs and controls the Arab Muslims, they are going to stay on the side of Hamas because they are scared. They are going to stay on Hezbollah because they are scared. Unless you've met these people, and unless you see these people...
Well, but I'll tell you, Doctor, oh, go ahead, finish up.
I was going to say, I had an Arab Muslim say to me, okay, I was in Egypt, and he said to me, don't go down that way, okay? I said, why? He says, because you're a Jew.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm talking about an Arab Muslim telling me this. And when you're saying that the Jews, the IDF, are killing children, they do everything and anything to not hurt children, families. They take care of the Arab Muslim children better than the Arab Muslims.
But I'll tell you, here in this country, what we've seen since October, when this barbaric medieval attack took place at the music festival, we saw what Obama had been doing for 8 years, bringing I don't know how many millions of Muslims to this country. They have wormed their way into every aspect of our university system. There is more anti-Semitism in this country than there ever has been right now, and it's mainstream, and it's pretty frightening.
Oh, and I blame that on the government.
Mm-hmm.
From the time that Obama was in, and it continues to be, because inciting, it's insidious. The mental health crisis is insidious, and they want the hate to continue, which is so beyond sad. So when you have that, of course you're going to get a war. And how people have forgotten, and some of your callers that are saying this, Israel has been trying to warn us forever. Did you people forget what happened in 9/11?
Mm-hmm.
Were there Israelis? You'll never find an Israeli that's going to come in and attack America.
No.
You better wake up.
In fact, I remember we had, by the way, Dr. Lemay, it's good to hear from you. And don't be a stranger, okay? All right, take care. Dr. Lemansky, she's my therapist, Steve's therapist, and many people in this audience, I'm sure, because we've been talking about it for so long. You want to go back to the phone, Steve? You want to tell? What do you want to do? All right, the phone's very busy, but I'll say this though. We did that show right after 9/11 where you said, let's bring some Muslims in. We brought in an Imam. Right after 9/11. And it was frightening because he was blaming the Jews for 9/11. And this was like, it was the Monday after 9/11. I don't remember what day of the week 9/11 was on, but I remember I talked to the mosque on the Saturday, and he came. So the Monday after 9/11, this Imam was he didn't call you guys that are Jews. He called you Israelis. You're all Israelis. All Jews are Israelis. Are you in Boca? You a Jew in Boca? You're an Israeli to this guy. He blamed the Jews for 9/11. And remember, he had this thing that he said the Jews got out of the building before the planes hit, and the remote control that the Israelis were flying the planes with, etc., etc. We walked. Oh, it was crazy. And I remember after the show, we walked outside, and the park, the building was surrounded by police officers with their hands on their pistols. The Monday after 9/11. So I've never heard a Jew blame people like that. It was great. All right, back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I called in earlier. I don't know if the call dropped. Or...
One call per day. One call per day. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, 3 times, and you are out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? We're having a run now, Steve. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes.
Hey, this is Parker from Wellington.
Hey, Wellington.
Yeah, I just want to comment on Candace Owens and what you just said and Rabbi David about her. I think she's smart. She's very well educated, and you both are not.
Okay, well, really, Rabbi David has something different involving Candace Owens than you have or I have. He knows her personally. So when Rabbi David was talking about Candace Owens, that was his own personal experience as someone who knows her. But with that aside, she's educated. What's her level of education?
I'm not going to answer your question.
Well, you said she's more educated. You don't know the level of her education? All right. Probably the level of yours, and your level shows how little information you had before you called. That guy's been on hold for a long time. He didn't think that through. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right. Once, twice. We're getting the run of these now, Steve. You're on the air. Yes, Rod. You're on.
I don't want to take up a lot of time, but your guy that called before the news break, he's all wet. And the way, exactly right, the way he said the word Jew says everything about the guy. He was laid out, you laid him out bright and clear, everybody saw it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I was calling, I spent 20 years in the Middle East, and almost every single country in the Middle East, working over there. And when Iraq invaded Kuwait, the Palestinians that were working over there cheered, and they participated in the wholesale slaughter of Kuwait. And I was there 2 days after the war started, and they had totally destroyed that country, the Iraqis. But the Palestinians were right there. And what happened to the Palestinians after the war, there were groups out hunting them off the streets of Kuwait City. And also, and I saw this with my own eyes, they were rounded up, marched out into the desert.
Yeah.
Hate the Palestinians.
Well, if you, and I'm sure you remember on 9/11, CNN showed the Palestinian neighborhood over there and in the Middle East. Remember, the Palestinians were jumping for joy and celebrating when the buildings were collapsing in New York on 9/11. They cut away from it right away. CNN, yeah, they threw a street party. They were throwing candy to the kids in the streets and high-fiving each other.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
And keep it up. Talk to you later.
All right, take care. We've had some great calls today, I must say, Steve. The quality of call today has been superior, except for the a couple of outliers. If you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Steve, of course, is here with us. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 8-Kane-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, and it's time to check in with attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning.
We're great.
one of the questions I often get is, who should I name as the successor trustee of my revocable living trust? A lot of times people will name a close family member. If you're married, you're usually co-trustees, and you might name your spouse. Your spouse would continue to be the remaining trustee if anything happens to you. But then a lot of times people will name their children, their adult children, if they feel their children are responsible and they trust them, or other family members. But other times people will name close friends. But really the key thing is this person responsible? Are we confident this person will do what they're supposed to do? Sometimes people will name co-trustees. They'll name more than one person. So they'll have two sets of eyes, two different people. Sometimes married couples will name a family member from the husband's side and a family member from the wife's side.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And then finally, sometimes people will name professionals, whether they be accountants, attorneys, or sometimes banks, like trust companies, can be used as well. So sometimes people don't have an ideal person in their life, a friend, family member, so they will name a professional. So there are different options out there, and one of the things that happens is people may put off doing their estate planning because they don't have that perfect person in place. And so that's why it's important to make sure you get it done, you come in, we can discuss those kinds of issues and put somebody in there who is going to be appropriate for your situation.
All right, and remember, it is always a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group. When you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the program, and if you've already put together a will or a trust years ago, you got to have that reviewed. You recommend every 3 years, right, Barry?
We agree with you for our clients every 3 years.
Yeah.
Estate plans reviewed every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, and if you've not yet met with the Siegel Law Group, for that first meeting, bring your trust, your will, whatever you have, if you've had it done with you. Here's the number, and remember, no matter where you are in the state of Florida, the Siegel Law Group can help. 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week. All right, we'll be right back.
To the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 93 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and any world at True.
All right, our number 1-888-465-2631. You want to go back to the phone, Steve? All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Steve. This is Rebecca from Plantation. And Brian. Sorry, Brian. I'm so emotional. Steve, I used to listen to you when I was in high school, and I'm 60. So hello.
Oh my God.
This is nice.
Making me feel old.
I know.
Well, I used to listen to Steve when I was in high school too. Steve was on in the afternoons on IOD 2 to 6, and we got out of school. We got out of school at 2:35, and I used to listen to Steve in the afternoons too. Yeah.
I'm a talk show junkie.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to you guys every day. But anyway, I'm pretty outraged today, Brian. We get upset about what they do to Trump all the time. But this is it's too much. How much more are they going to take away from this man? I mean, honestly.
It surprises me that nobody on the establishments, legal and there in New York, that nobody has interceded to try to...
Who? The other Democrat? They're all Democrats. They're all Democrat jerks, Steve.
Oh, but you can't tell me that just because somebody's a Democrat, that means they're totally crazy.
Yes, I can.
This is way out of...
Who's the sane Democrat?
I mean, I've never heard, I'm sorry, I'm not in the judicial system, but I've never heard of somebody having to be present at a proceeding regardless. This man is the president, ex-president, or former president of the United States, and you have this jerk-off judge who can totally control him?
Yes. Yeah.
Anybody standing up
Well, we're standing up. We are.
Judges, no, why another judges? Why another? I am so outraged, and I can't.
You know, I'll tell you. You ask a good question though. Okay, why are other now the Supreme Court aside, but why are other judges not standing up? And I would say they're probably afraid.
It makes no sense, Brian. This is so.
It's possible. The only thing that makes sense is that they're scared. I mean, it's either scared or stupid. And
I don't know. It's corrupt.
Do you know? I saw yesterday. I saw Alina Habba, Trump's attorney, his lady attorney, that was in the other case with the Letitia, and she said in New York. Let me tell you how bad this is with this judge. She said there is a law in New York that a judge must recuse themselves if they do not have a 6-degree separation from a person before them. 6 degrees, which means any connection. It's a law. It is well, they're breaking it. I'll pull up the audio and play it later. And this is 1 degree.
Whether it's this judge or another judge, they're going to still continue this case, and it could be a worse judge. It doesn't matter. This manhunt, or what do you call it? This abuse, this has to be brought out. I know that the media is corrupt, and they're not going to say anything, but people need to look at Lauren Loomer. Lauren Loomer is a champion. Look at her out there with the bullhorn and all that. I mean, I can't. I'm so upset, you guys. I can't even. My husband is like, you need to calm down. And I said, injustice is so crazy that I can't. When I can't do anything, I wish I could do something. All I do is give them more money.
Hang on one second. I want to ask you one question. Is what you're saying about judges here, are you talking about New York judges exclusively?
I'm gonna play it for you. After the call, I'm gonna play it for you, Steve, and you'll hear Alina Habba herself say it. You'll hear. Hey, no. You should listen. You should be pissed off. I'm pissed off. Okay. All right. Well, listen. Thanks for the call.
I think the country now, I'm talking about coast to coast, I think Americans are getting very pissed off about what's going on. I don't know about that enclave of judicial, people up in New York State or city or whatever, but I can tell you, I think a couple days like we had yesterday with bringing traffic to a halt on the Golden Gate Bridge and what crap they're going to pull on at the Democratic Convention, seeing enough of that, citizens of the United States are not going to say that
yeah.
Up to here, and I'm not going to...
Well, Well, let me play this for you. This is what I was just talking about the judge. Yesterday, Benny Johnson interviewed Alina Habba, who's Trump's attorney. You see her all the time, and they were talking about the events of yesterday. So first you hear Benny Johnson, then you hear Habba come in.
So there are so many different ways to go at this, but let's just start with the kind of overt visual abomination of this case, which is the judge's daughter has Donald Trump in prison as her avatar. In what universe does somebody who makes tens of millions of dollars donating to put Donald Trump in jail, plus has the avatar of Donald Trump in jail?
Okay, yeah, the judge's daughter on her Twitter picture was Trump behind bars. That's what he's referencing.
I'm a father. I have little daughters. I would do anything for my little daughters. I just had a daughter turn 2 this weekend.
Hold on, Steve. Hold on. It's going to get to Habba. She's going to talk about that law. I just couldn't cue it up to that, so we got to listen to him go on a little bit. But then she'll come in and talk about the judge. Hold on.
Anybody expect a fair trial here when you can literally see that this is the fetish to put Trump in prison?
So
here we go.
The truth is, it's worse than that. So in New York, which is different than most states, there's actually a law against judges working on a trial where they or somebody in their 6 degrees of separation and his daughter being an immediate, obviously, relation, has any interest financially. His daughter, and what we do know is his daughter does work with this company that does the branding, the advertising.
Yeah.
Who is supposed to get this cleaned up? Who's going
the Attorney General of the state of New York, Letitia James. So, yeah.
Nobody's going to say anything?
Well, Lena Haba is. So she just said, this is a law in the state of New York that is unique to New York, that a judge must have 6 degrees of separation between them and somebody in their courtroom, so far as a financial interest.
That law.
Yes. Yeah, let me finish playing it. Let me rewind it just a little bit. This is Alina Habba, President Trump's attorney here talking, okay?
Branding, the advertising for people like Chuck Schumer. And when he profits, she profits through the advertising and those types of things. And it's really disturbing to me because if the case is lost, it actually financially disincentivizes the judge for his daughter. So you're not supposed to sit on a bench when you have any sort of motivation that's not completely unbiased. You should have no motivation.
Yeah. Steve, I'm not a psychic. I just know that Democrats in New York are corrupt. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. This is what I know from what Alina Habba just said. Just on this alone, the judge is breaking the law. He's the one they should be doing jury selection for, not Trump, the judge. The judge is a criminal based on just that alone.
I need somebody to call in between now and the end of the show to give me a personal opinion on whether this thing is going to be permitted to stand.
It's standing. Nobody's addressing this. Steve, who stood up? Steve, this was Alina. There's no appeal. There's no appeal on this yet. This is happening.
But there's going to be the appeal comes at the end.
That's a long time from now. This is the beginning of the beginning. They haven't even gotten one juror seated yet. They dismissed over 50 potential jurors yesterday. This is going to go on for eternity. And Alina Habba, believe me, I'm not the only person that heard Alina Habba, President Trump's attorney, say that yesterday. And where have you heard it? Benny Johnson interviewed her, and she said it. I'm sharing it. Where else have you heard this? Nowhere. Nowhere. So that, to me, tells me no one's doing anything. We have a lawless judge. We have a criminal judge. Just based on that.
Does the appeals...
You can't appeal.
Hold on. Does the appeals process kick in at the end of the trial? Is that the point at which it kicks in? Or is it supposed to kick in now?
You can't appeal before a verdict.
So then the answer to my question is it kicks in at the end of the trial.
You can attempt to move. You can go for an appeal after the trial.
They're creating a record, I think.
Oh my goodness! But what good is that? By that time, it's going to be 2028. And listen, callers, we're very late for the break. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good day, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. So today we see a high of 80 degrees, beautiful sunshine, not too bad with the humidity. Really looking good.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture, Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture, voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
95 south of Sloan Elms, past Morning Mystery, West Palm, then from 10th Avenue North, past Lantana.
Cash. If you own a house in South Florida and want to sell it fast for a great price, call me at 561-570-7070. I can pay cash in
Oh my goodness, guys. I know it's hard to believe, isn't it?
pay you a cash advance before the closing. I'm a local cash buyer and I'm looking to purchase more houses. I buy all types of properties in any condition, any price range, in any situation. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I will even buy foreclosures and haunted houses. Woo! Do you own a vacant house or one that is trashed and needs thousands in repairs? Great. I love buying fixer-uppers. Regardless of your situation, I understand that life happens, and I'm here to help you. If you own a home and want to sell it fast and easy, I'll buy it. Call me at 561-570-7070. That's 561-570-7070. 561-570-7070.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day, the buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane. When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now at Boca and any lab test now at Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor will order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now at Boca and any lab test now at Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now at Boca and any lab test now at Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. Steve is here. Our number 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, I can hear you. Yep. Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, yes. All right, we're going to give up on you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Steve from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Steve. Anyway, I just was listening, and yes, you're very good, Brian.
Yes.
And so whoever said that, but also, I wouldn't worry about Trump. He loves this kind of stuff. This gives him his strength. He's like a superhero that gets more strength from anything coming against him.
Steve, let me ask you a question. Steve, you with me here?
Yeah.
My phones
Yeah.
aren't working too well this morning. All right, let me just say, from the beginning, my view of all of these trials that we're going through, the way I looked at them from the beginning is a never-ending process that was everything was going to end up pretty much in the Supreme Court, because Donald Trump has had his rights taken away throughout this process, and what I think they're doing is building a record. And to have all these things thrown out ultimately, and I'm surprised that there aren't more people, at least based on what I'm listening to from the callers, that there aren't more people that understand that.
Steve, Steve, listen. This is the what you're doing, okay? You're at the end of the process, which could be years from now. We're talking. That's forever.
Process, the way I see it, I stand to be contradicted, but the way I see it, the process has got to run its course.
Steve, listen. By the way, Steve in Chicago, I'll give you the last word, then I'll tell Steve what I was going to tell him.
Steve.
Well, yeah, I understand that. That's why you're kind of like worried. I'm sorry if I'm offending you, Steve, but you're weakening, not realizing the strength of Donald Trump.
Yeah. I don't agree that he loves it. By the way, thanks for calling. Let me tell you, Steve, this is the problem. This is the problem. See, you oh, the Supreme Court. That's so far away, okay? The judge, no, Steve.
Just 1 second. From the get-go, did anybody expect justice to be done in the first?
Here's the no, Steve. The judge this is a criminal case. Well, these are white-collar misdemeanors that they've turned into criminal charges, okay? In the state of New York, and the judge has ordered this. This is why he said Trump can't go to Barron's graduation. In a criminal case in the state of New York, the defendant is required to be in court every day that the court is in session, okay? They, yesterday, excused, whatever the word is, over 50 potential jurors. This process, just to get a jury, could take months. During that time, he can't campaign. He can't leave. He's a prisoner of the courtroom.
It's going to do in the...
Well, it doesn't. We can be pissed off all we want, but what you're talking about, literally, what you were talking about is literally possibly years away.
No, it's not going to be. It's going to be adjudicated by the end of this round of whatever we're going.
This Steve, it's going to take them It's going to take them 6 months to get a jury. They got to get 18. They got to get 12. Oh.
I think it's going to get expedited.
No, part of the racket that they have going here is not to expedite anything. They need to get 18 jurors, 12 jurors and 6 alternates. They couldn't get one yesterday. Okay? They couldn't get one. And to move on to the next phase where they really start questioning and looking into them. So the purpose of this kangaroo court and this corrupt judge, the most corrupt judge in the history of America, no judge has shown their corruption to the world in real time like this, okay, is to stop Trump from campaigning, to prolong this process. And, and they're going to do it. This could take months to even get a jury together. And Trump, no, he can't campaign. He's got to be in the courtroom every day.
I suggest that I see more of Donald's face on television now than ever.
Oh, no, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think you're leaving out a lot of stuff. Now, an amazing thing happened with President Trump. I don't know how many. Did you see President Trump go into the fast food restaurant? I'm not talking about the Chick-fil-A where the black lady hugged him. He goes into a fast food restaurant. I don't know what the restaurant is. I don't recognize the restaurant, but he goes into a fast food restaurant. This is President Trump, and he goes up to order, and the lady, who's Hispanic, by the way, asks President Trump if she can do something. Listen.
So you recommend his food, right? Yes, sir. You care about prayer?
She says she's there to take his order. She says, "Do you mind if I pray for you?" President Trump says, "I don't mind." And she reaches out, and he reaches out, and she puts her hand on his hand.
Sir, you care about prayer? Yes, go ahead. Lord, I pray, Lord, in the name of Jesus. I pray, God, that you just help him in this presidency.
So, and then she sits there and prays to Jesus in the fast food line with President Trump, the fast food worker. This is amazing. Nothing like this has ever happened in history. And obviously this is helping him in many, many ways. But they still, but see, Steve, there's also negatives to it.
Right, I really do. Well, look, it's
because you want to, you want to be in denial about things. You want to be in denial. This is what's going on. Okay, there's a big picture here. Okay, the convention's coming up over the summer. They may not even have a jury by the end of the summer at this rate. Okay, this judge is this judge is holding President Trump prisoner in this courtroom. That courtroom is a jail cell, okay, during the week. And what's going to happen are these Nikki Haley, George Bush, Governor Sununu, DeSantis people are going to use this trial to try to take that nomination from him. They're going to try to have a brokered convention because Trump can't, he's being held prisoner in this courtroom, and he can't go to the convention.
If they attempt to do that, which they very well might.
Why do you think Sununu's on TV praising Trump? He's acting like he loves Trump. Well, but he's foreshadowing the brokered convention attempt.
Well, look, I don't put it past any of them to try to do whatever they're going to try. But what I'm telling you is, this has always been about, I've said this from the beginning, it's all been about the American people from the beginning. What they will tolerate and what they won't. And what you're going to see now unfolding one day at a time, and it's speeding up as the process, moves towards a conclusion. I agree we're a ways away from that. But what we're doing now is laying the groundwork. Americans are getting angrier and angrier and angrier until all of a sudden those demonstrations that you see are going to be the rage by America.
Okay,
This is gonna polish off the whole activist Arab movement.
Okay. All right. Listen, we got to take our break. We'll be back right after this.
Truth.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. How are the metals starting today off, William Youngerman?
The metals are looking good again. After yesterday's big rally, we just see this, little temporary pullbacks, short one-day corrections or profit taking, and then it just keeps rallying to higher numbers. And so yesterday we saw gold trade in pretty much a $70 range. The low, $2,323, and then, as I said, it rebounded with a vengeance, got up to $2,392 the ounce, and then closed out the day at $23.82. That was up $39.10 on gold. Silver gained 96 cents yesterday at $28.80. It did hit a high of $29.02 the ounce. Platinum and palladium both doing weaker. Platinum down $5 yesterday, closing at $9.69, and palladium down $14 at $1,018. This morning we see gold pretty much right around where we closed, $23.74, down $8 right now. A little bit of a pullback. Silver down 55 cents at $28.25. Platinum down $4 at $9.65, and palladium down $6 at $9.92. So again, you got to buy the little dips that we do get the opportunities to do.
Absolutely. Now, people that can't make it into your shop, can you tell people how it works if they want to do a transaction over the phone and through the mail with you? No matter, by the way, you can do that no matter where you are in America or the world. But can you tell people how that works?
Yeah, just simply call us on our 800 number, lock in the price, and wire the funds the same day. The coins will be shipped out, or the metals will be shipped out within 24 hours.
Yeah, and people do that all day, and and I mention this a lot. I know you see a lot of ads online and on television. They're charging you too much for your metals, guys. I'm here to tell you, by a lot. You will get more gold, more silver for your money with William Youngerman than those places, I promise you. That 800 number, and William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m., is 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. But if you can stop in, you can do that, and all the metals are available for immediate delivery. The address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. Okay, have a great day. All right, back after this.
Steve Kane Show is on.
All right, and, yeah. Okay.
I joined a little slow, but I'm now getting worked up, kind of like the American people are getting worked up. I don't see anything going on here that scares me. I think we're going to go through a lot of grief. There's no question of that as a country. But it all is, from the beginning, it has always been about the American people on the bottom line, what they'll stand for and what they won't. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know how much grief it's going to take to get everybody in Washington and the rest of the government to get their act together. But this process is designed to cure itself, and it will. It's just,
Steve,
I believe that the people that are opposed to Trump think they're in good shape now.
Oh yeah, they do. They're mental patients, Steve. I mean, I'll play you. Let me pull this audio up. I want to. Before I do though, I want to tell people. We talk about inflation and everything's so expensive, and I've got 2 free things that I'm going to offer you, both with Joe Thomas. First, Joe Thomas is offering free phone consultations, no matter where you're located, by the way, not just here in Florida, but throughout America. You could take advantage of this free phone consultation with Joe Thomas. And he's also offering free copies of his book, The Retirement Know-It-All. If you're retired or planning on retiring at any time in your life, you want to get this book. I've read this book. It's a quick read that's filled with lots of valuable, actionable information. And you can call Joe Thomas at his office, schedule that free phone consultation, and get your free copy of the book, Retirement Know-It-All, as well. The number 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com, and you can get it there. Steve, they think we're nuts, and they are not going to back off. I want to play a clip. This is, to explain.
They're not back off. What's going to happen? We're now exploring possibilities, options. What do you think is going to occur at the Democratic Convention?
Oh, they're going to have massive Muslim demonstrations. It's going to be a disaster. Yeah, I don't think many conservative MAGA people are going to show up because of the January 6th business. We don't want to be showing up places like that. So I don't think there's going to be an organized MAGA demonstration.
Basically a Muslim problem.
No, they got all kinds of problems, but at the convention, you're not going to see mass MAGA people at the convention showing up to protest, and they shouldn't, by the way, because they'll turn it against us. But there'll be a mass Muslim. See, Steve, this is what you're missing. These people on the other side do not view themselves as evil. They think they're saving the country. They think they're patriots. But they're in charge of the system. They're running the system. The government.
I don't believe that.
Really?
I think when the dust settles at the end, truth is going to triumph.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now I'll give you an example. This will probably be on TV later. Katie Couric was sitting down with Bill Maher. He was interviewing her, and Katie Couric, she's talking about MAGA people.
And I feel like, to your point, Bill, the socioeconomic disparity.
Boy, is she transitioning into a man, or is that from a lifetime of smoking? She's got a deep. She sounds like Wolfman Jack, Katie. She's not that perky, cutesy girl next door anymore.
And I feel like, to your point, Bill, the socioeconomic disparities are a lot, and class resentment is a lot. And anti-intellectualism and elitism is what is driving many of these anti-establishment, which are Trump voters, or anti-establishment voters. So I think that is a huge problem that we have to address. I mean, globalization and the transition from
So we're stupid. MAGA people are uneducated, and she's part of what the movement. Her people are running the country. They're running the country today, Steve.
Leave that.
They're not. Let me play this next clip, then we'll go to the phones. This is Hillary Clinton with Christine Amanpour.
Partisans in both parties.
Steve, these are the people running the government.
I don't
The Democrats aren't running the government? They're running the whole system.
I think right now, if you look at the chessboard, I think that we're in front.
No. Let me play. This is Mrs. Clinton with Christine Amanpour.
I think that all these phony left-wing lunatics that
They're running the country right now, Steve.
you really think that they're going to be triumphant when
They're running it now.
we're not over Trump?
They're in charge now.
It doesn't matter. What matters is when it's finished.
Okay. All right, let me play Mrs. Clinton here.
Strong partisans in both parties in the past, and we had very bitter battles over all kinds of things, gun control and climate change and the economy and taxes. But there wasn't this little tail of extremism wagging the dog of the Republican Party as it is today. And sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump, who has no credibility left by any measure.
Oh, my Lord.
Let her finish.
Himself.
Hold on.
Now defending himself in civil actions and criminal
Let her. Don't interrupt Mrs. Clinton. Hold on.
him. Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, but something needs to happen.
Okay. So she just now Hillary Clinton's part of the establishment that's running the country right now. Okay? And she said, well, who's running the country, Steve? Not us. Biden and Obama are running the country. And she says that Trump is a dangerous cult leader, and
The bottom line of all that, we're starting to get exasperated now. My blood pressure is, my doctor told me to go a little easy with my blood pressure. This is not helping. But, I mean, what you're saying is that when this is over,
Steve, you're talking about when it's over. We're talking about what's happening now.
I'm talking now. What's going on now is part of the problem.
See, let me tell you what. Oh my goodness.
What you're saying is, after all the talk and everything,
Yeah.
you're saying Trump's not going to.
I didn't say that. Steve, this is what's going on here. You were in. Yeah. You okay, Steve?
No.
I don't want you to have a stroke on the air.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Well, have a drink. You got some whiskey?
No, I don't do that anymore.
Okay. Got some weed? Got some CBD? You need something.
I might go for a little CBD.
Okay. I'll get you some of those Cheech and Chong gummies. Steve, this is the thing, okay? And you and I this is yeah.
Let me get this out.
We're almost out of time.
Hold on one second. That's why I want to get the last word here. You're telling me you think, Donald, the American people are going to sit by and let the presidency be?
Yeah. This is what I think. Okay, I think right now you're trying to do therapy. Okay, Dr. Lemaski called in an hour ago, and you want therapy. You want to ignore the troubles we're dealing with now and go to this far off place months from now where everything is fine. I didn't say that. But you just can't sit around and wait. We got to deal with what's going on now, and what's going on now is so sick, so twisted, so corrupt, so un-American. You're in denial about what's going on right now. All right, then we'll be back at the end of life because we're not going to talk about anything. We're just going to trust everything's going to work out. I mean, I don't understand, Steve. I mean, all right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name?
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen.
So it's interesting what you said about DeSantis is waiting in the wings.
Yep.
Because I saw that DeSantis is going to start.
He's going to start fundraising for Trump. Him and Sununu. Yeah, exactly. BS.
So it makes sense. They're trying to show bigger people that they're on the side of Trump. so that if something happens, whatever, then they could step.
Lies. It's called foreshadowing. They're setting the stage for a brokered convention.
Makes sense. It's just outrageous that that something cannot be done if somebody come from the outside and oversee this crap.
There's two people that would come forward.
Joel, are you saying you don't think Trump's going to get the nomination?
Oh, back at the end. Steve wants to go to the end of the movie here. We're talking about now.
About the trial right now.
You know, Steve, we're...
What's going on?
All right, then why we do a damn show then? Let's just wait till it's all over, and then we'll come back and say it's over. I don't understand. You know, Steve, this is insane. Listen, Sununu and DeSantis are setting the stage to be MAGA all of a sudden. Okay, Sununu, who was basically having an affair with Nikki Haley on the campaign trail for a year, now all of a sudden he's supporting Trump, you know, and DeSantis is going to fundraise for Trump. They're setting the stage for a brokered convention. I'm not saying they're going to be successful, but that's what they're doing, and no one's talking about that but us. And there's two people that are in a position to step in and stop this corrupt judge. The Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, and the Attorney General of the United States, Merrick Garland. And they're the ones behind the whole corrupt thing. We're out of time. They just don't intervene. We're out of time. Joellen, I'm sorry. Call us on hold. Stand by. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. And if you stay on hold, you'll be first in line tomorrow at 6 a.m. I'm Brian. Steve Kane's here. See you tomorrow.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe, all right? And everyone else, like the video. I'll see you next time, all right? Take care, guys.